Hello, guys. Oh man, a little bit unprepared, but we'll see where the stream goes. Even though you do see the title, I've been saying for years Jordan Peterson's daughter, Michaela Peterson, has been ruining his brand for years. For years, you know. It's very undeniable at this point. it's undeniable at this point, man. But anyways, let's bring up some irrelevant stuff. See what we got on the bookmarks, man. But yeah, oh yeah, shout out these past couple of days, some people asked me where I was, I was working. I was doing my main jobs, you know what I mean? And then one of my jobs asked me to go to a certain island to perform. So I couldn't be there for a little bit. So sorry about that. Anyways, let's look at because I have to address a couple of groups of people real quick. I need to address the particularly the FBAs. And I hope ninjas don't get offended early on in this stream because I have to address the FBAs. I have to, because this is getting to a point where it's undeniable. Oh man. Shout out to Rocky. He was the one that asked me where I was, bro. So yep, I was working. He said, was it on EP Island? Nah, not quite. Not quite. The only thing is, if I say what island I was on, I don't want people to start connecting the dots on which band I was playing in, you know. Especially a lot of the work I be getting, especially, is really just filling in for other people, because the two bands that I'm like officially in, they'll probably perform twice a month, three times a month, something like that. Right. But a lot of the work that I've been getting, especially for the past year, is people just calling in like, "Oh, can you fill in?" And then it ends up being like a 3-month gig with a certain band, or 4-month gig on a certain band. Okay, every Thursday you got to come here, or every Tuesday we're doing this, and then that will happen for like 2 months until they find somebody else to replace me or whatever. you know, that's basically how I've been getting a lot of my gigs. So here, because I have to address the Tyler situation amongst the FBAs, because it's getting scary. The hate that Tyler is getting, like it's getting really weird. People keep mentioning her race, what she's mixed with. They were trying to, I guess, shock people like just the other day when they found out, oh my god, she's half Indian and she's half this. Why is she at the BT award? You're just like, guys, it's getting, yeah, they bro. And but let me show you this though, Rocky, because he said they still talking about her. Yet every other day they got something new about her. That's what I'm starting to realize. I swear I'm not even taking advantage of the algorithm, but literally every other week there's something that they're trying to pull. They're trying to make up something about her. It's the hate that she's getting is borderline really weird. It's borderline weird. Just really weird. Okay. So I'm gonna show you this because I want to show the full context. This kind of went viral a little bit amongst the FBAs. Right now, unfortunately, the FBAs are getting taken advantage of by a lot of grifters, a lot of opportunists like Tariq Nasheed, you know, not really Dr. Umar Johnson actually, because Dr. Umar Johnson is more of, oh, we all need to identify as African, whatever. Like he's actually against the whole segregation between black people and all this stuff. Like, so it's actually not this one is not Dr. Umar Johnson's fault right here, really. This is more of guys like Tariq Nasheed and other FBA, only grifters where they're just basically trying to put, oh, only foundational black Americans and everybody else is not, they're not really black. You know what I mean? You don't deserve reparations if you're only FBA, which I actually agree with. It's just the people that are doing this, they're grifting, but particularly guys like Tariq Nasheed, right? No disrespect, because I actually like Tariq Nasheed personally and Dr. Umar and these guys, but Tariq Nasheed, he's also a grifter as well. So this video made the rounds in the FBA circles on this made the rounds on Black Twitter, right? So this is a lyric from Tyler, right? This is a lyric from a song that somebody took way out of context. We're gonna take a quick listen real quick. Fair use to the song. Hopefully I don't get a strike.
I don't need reparations, boy, bye. I don't need reparations, boy, bye.
So you hear the lyrics. I don't need reparations, boy, bye. Now, this is how idiotic that some of these new age FBAs can be. They took the reparations part of the song and they were like, she's talking about us. She tried to diss us, saying she doesn't need reparations. And I'm like, guys, you do know that there's different definitions to the word reparations. First of all, she's not talking about like slavery she's talking about a dude. She's talking about she doesn't need nothing from a dude. Just one of the that's stuff that you hear from female rappers and female artists all the time. You always hear some form of that, right? Now there's other definitions. Like reparations doesn't mean just one thing. So I meant to show this like 2 weeks ago, but I never got the chance to do the video on it. But it was interesting when I saw the replies. I was like, did you guys really take this and ran with it? You know what I mean?
I don't need reparations, boy, bye.
Now, it's the answer is in the lyric where she says boy bye, because she's talking about a dude. She's talking about not needing things from a dude. Now, before the FBAs get mad at me, well, a lot of the times when I'm dissing Americans, the two groups of people that get mad at me the most are white Americans and black Americans, right? And what's interesting is white Americans and black Americans, they'll go at each other for racism and all this stuff, but they're so alike. They don't even realize how much white Americans and black Americans, they don't even realize how alike they are. It's the funniest thing. I remember seeing Christopher Hitchens, right? This was he did this a long time ago, but I saw this video in 2014, right? Christopher Hitchens, right? He had a black power representative, and he had a black power representative and a white power representative. Like, Black Panther organizer, dude, whatever, and I think a Ku Klux Klan member, if I'm not mistaken, or a white nationalist. I think he just had a regular white nationalist. I don't think he had a Ku Klux Klan. I think he just had a white nationalist on the other line, and he basically had them debate and had them moderate. But what Christopher Hitchens was trying to prove, that these people are two sides of the same coin. Now, when I first saw this, because I'm black, I was like, well, I was biased. I was like, oh well, no, that's different. You know, I was like, no, that's different. But the older I've gotten, especially really when I really reflect on that video, especially today, I really look at the stuff that they were saying in that debate. And yes, they're basically two sides of the same coin. Yes. Yeah. They didn't, but the stuff that I see Americans do, I'm talking about of all races, that the stuff that I see Americans brag about, the stuff that I see us Americans uh do in terms of manipulation tactics, when in terms of twisting narratives to fit an agenda, Americans falling for agenda. This is amongst all races of Americans. All races are very susceptible to this. So let me open this thing up real quick. Let me search up the definition. Okay. This is for the pro blacks that were so mad at that one lyric that somebody clearly manipulated. They took that one lyric from Tyler to create something crazy. Like that is a different level of evil that you'll see people of the media will do to make certain people look bad. So I don't know who Tyler pissed off in the FBA world or the whatever world. They're trying to use her to stir up something amongst the FBAs. And I just hope the FBAs are not falling for it. Anyways, so right here, the definition of reparations: the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money or otherwise helping those who have been wronged. Synonyms for this word: amends, restitution, redress, compensation, recompense, repayment, atonement, indemnification, indemnity, damages. You know what I mean? So just reparations is just another word to make right. You know what I mean? Symbols or things that you can use, whether it be what they call it, tangible, or something tangible that you can do to make things right. That's the word I'm looking for. But they took that lyric and they ran with it. Oh, shout out to Harp's Desire. He said, can't stay for too long, but man, that thumbnail and title has me dying. Also, regarding Tyler and her heritage, you should check out the Mulatto History channel. Very curious to hear your take on it. Well, people don't like that's even like I said, I have Haitian descent, two Haitian parents, right? I was born in America though, right? So in the history of Haiti, there were literally you had different classes of people by skin tone. You know what I mean? Like you would have the light skinned people, they'd have their own class. You have the dark skinned people, they have their own class. So this runs a lot of these things are is just a meaning. Just it's just like when we talk about skin tone, race, everything is always, it seems like, to be a never ending loop of class, meaning people relate skin tone to a class, right? So it's not even about racism a lot of the times. Is a lot of it is everything is classism. Most everything that we a lot of the things that we fight is just classism. You know what I mean? Rocky said, if you explain, oh, I cannot read today. God, if you explain this to them, they'll give you some esoteric explanation to explain how is about FBA. But if you try to explain their favorite rap lyrics, it ain't that deep. Well, yeah, that's a whole other story. That is a whole other story. Even though I don't think that's fair, where ninjas can go to jail over some rap lyrics, and then I see, you know, rock, people that do rock and all these things talk about all types of nonsense and they don't get in trouble for that. That's unfair on that end. But even then, like a lot the FBAs, I think they're getting taken advantage of, in my opinion, by by a lot of grifters, particularly via Black Twitter. The FBAs, the ADOS, was it American or African descendants of slaves or something like that. But this whole thing about reparations, people might disagree with me on this, but I don't think, like, say if we if black if we had reparations now, it wouldn't help, because first of all, the people that deserve reparations, literally by bloodline, they're not going to get it, because it's just going to be a whole bunch of black people that didn't even identify themselves as black. They're going to basically take it. You know what I mean? And on top of that, like, say even if the money went to the right ninjas, right? If that happened, I don't even think nothing would happen, except it would make Cadillac the number one brand of car in America. It would really wouldn't do anything. Even I'm talking about if every rightful black person got their reparations check, quote unquote. First of all, what the retailers are gonna do is they're gonna what Nike and Cadillac and Jordan and Weave stores and Popeyes, or no, sorry, not Popeyes, but um, what's another thing that, like, black people like to spend their money on? Whatever black people like to spend their money on, they're just gonna up their prices because everybody done got their check. So they're just gonna up their prices, and that's just gonna increase inflation just in general. It's not gonna help anything. It's really not gonna do anything, unfortunately. And FBAs do deserve they like, I believe America dropped the ball by not giving FBAs their reparations check, because the Japanese people got their reparations check, the small hats got the reparations check for some weird reason. But that's a whole nother issue that we can talk about that on another time. But you know, but so now you have this unfinished business that was never finished. And now if you actually help now, it's really not going to do anything. Like, the damage is already done. The damage is already done. So they really can't help now. It actually make things worse. That's why they refuse. This is why the powers that be are making sure they like, nah, we can't we can't do that, you know. But I like, particularly I like the Nation of Islam. I like their message of, self-reliance, self-sufficiency, doing for self. That's why I can always get behind pause, the Nation of Islam, a guy like Riza Islam, Minister Tony Muhammad, to a lesser extent, Minister Louis Farrakhan, to a lesser extent, and the obviously the Muslims of old that have passed away, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Who else? These people. Can't think of their name. Malcolm X. These people. Khalid Muhammad. Yeah. But like I said, there's a lot of people that have been advocating for FBAs to do certain things, and then it finds out that they then they'll do like an actual lineage, a bloodline lineage, and then they'll find out that they're actually descendants of they're like half descendants of slave masters or of just white people in general. That happened to Angela Davis, if I'm not mistaken, who was a commie, but it was interesting when she found out what her bloodline really was. You know what I mean? Because if we actually did like an actual bloodline, it would be a lot of people that don't qualify. And it'll be the people that you would have never thought, you know. Shout out to Midnight Sun. Shout out to anybody in the war band. I know the war band members are gonna like this stream. Harp's Desire said, one thing I'm very curious about how many Black Americans are descendant from free Blacks who lived in what is now America since the colonial days. Yet that's another discussion, because people act like there wasn't ninjas out here. There were ninjas that were free, that were living up north, even some that were down south, but most of them were obviously living up north. There were I'm talking about they've never been slaves. They were never they were never in part of that kind of stuff. So there were a class of a very small class, but there were a class of black people like that, you know. That's there was also a class of people, a class of black people that they literally bought their way out of slavery. So I am very curious about that too, because if we actually did like a line, a real lineage, people would be shocked to where where they came from and what their roots really are. Rocky says, I prefer the Moorish thing, but the NOI, all right. No, I agree with that too. The when you look at the history of the Moors, how they did things, they did a lot of gangster stuff too. You know what I mean? So when people want to complain about, white people, pillaging and do whatever, well, the Moors, they did their things, quote unquote the right way as well. They was doing what they were supposed to do, so I prefer low key, I prefer that way too. You know, this is what I believe about reparations, though. Me personally, this is what I believe about reparations. I don't believe you ask for reparations. That I am vehemently against. I think reparations are taken. It's not something you ask for, and people could take this quote and you can interpret it however you want to interpret it. But I don't believe you just ask for reparations. You don't go to the mafia boss and say, "Can you give me back what you stole?" that like I don't believe in that. I believe if you want it, you're gonna have to take it back. That's what I believe. If you really want it, you have to take it back. They're not just gonna give it to you. You know what I mean? Now, I think because the Japanese got their reparations and other groups of people got their like basically everybody done got a check from you know, the GOV except for, you know, black Americans in their mind. You know what I mean? So this is why I guess they're very pro and a push on that. Rocky also says black people were already indigenous here. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, yeah, and I forgot there were already black people here in America too as well. In terms of even before the colonists came over, there were already black people here amongst the indigenous population. This is also true. So let me continue from your comment. Black people were already indigenous here. The Moor who came with Columbus spoke their language and it was similar to Hebrew, but they never talk about this, which is why the FBA ish is so confusing. Yeah, it is a lot because this is what happens when a knowledge of self is taken from a group of people. So you'll have a group of black people that don't know if they came from Africa. They don't have there's a whole group of people that believe that they're Pan-Africanists. There's a whole group that think they're native, they're Native Americans. You have a whole group of black people that are this way, they're NOI, they're black. We have so many like different beliefs because many black people don't know where they're actually from, their actual roots. The black people that live in America, a lot of them don't know what their actual roots are, unfortunately. This is what happens when you take a history from a group of people, literally take their not only just their history, they don't even own their last names. They don't even know where they're if they have if they had a tribal name, you know what I mean? If that was taken from them. So it's a lot of, you know, a lot of things have been taken, from black Americans, a lot in terms of their history and their knowledge of their roots, their past. So this is the confusion where it causes so much division amongst us. It just causes way too many unnecessary, division. You know, Rocky also says they're trying to rewrite this as Tartaria. Let me hit the comments real quick. So, oh Lord, They wilding in the comments. Yeah, because it's just so you now you hear in this comment section, what I found were it was literally black people arguing with each other, like, bruh, this is you'll have a group of black people saying she's not talking about reparations in terms of slavery. She's just talking about making amends. And then you have a whole other side of the FBAs where they're just like, no, this African said this, and you're just like, oh Lord. It's like it's sad, you know. He says somebody said, y'all love taking something out of context and running with it. And this is the stuff that black people would complain about white people doing. You know what I mean? This is the irony of this. Like this is the stuff like you know, taking things out of context, you know. And unfortunately, here from this tweet, you see another FBA, whatever her name is. I think what's her name? Her name is Monique 2C. And a lot of the FBAs like now is like, you know, remember when you would have like the pro blacks, they would rock the Marcus Garvey flag, right? It would be the black, green, and red flag in their bio to prove that they're like pro black or whatever. Now, like the FBAs are now what they do is they'll have their profile and then they'll have their American flag right next to it. You know, and then they'll have like black first in their bio to show that they're like a FBA, you know, foundational black American or ADOS, right? So here she clearly fell for the bait. She said, "Did she say she don't need reparations? You not like us. You don't qualify, quote unquote." But she doesn't understand like this was just a snippet. You know, I can't believe ninjas fell for this. No, this is what's so disappointing. I cannot believe a lot of ninjas fell for this.
I don't need reparations, boy.
It's like she's clearly talking about not needing anything from a boy, whatever, or a man. And and just they just took that and said, "Oh, she's talking about our reparations." It's like that's crazy. Somebody said your wig must be too tight because there ain't no way you thought she meant slavery reparations. Well, unfortunately, people are that dumb. Unfortunately, this is you know, he said her wig too tight. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. Oh Lord, man. It's crazy. It's crazy though. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Yeah, oh yeah, you then you have like the black Israelites. I forgot about that group of people. You got the black Israelites. You got that group of people. They think they're the lost tribe of, you know, whatever. So this is what happens when you know you remove a knowledge yourself. Now you got a bunch of confused dudes that really they just want a general knowledge of where they came from. So they're just going to grasp at anybody that's going to benefit them. This is why they latch on to a lot of black Americans would latch on to, you know, the Democrats just saying what they want to hear, you know, because it's just that longing of wanting to know who you are and what to really stand for. So this is this so a lot of you know, this is where a lot of confusion. This is why you'll see like even a lot of black rappers. Somebody you see the example here. Somebody's using Kendrick Lamar's example of him talking about that he thinks he's an Israelite, and then then 2 or 3 years later, oh no, I'm African American. I'm really you know. so so it's long enough really wanting to know who you are, who you really are. So that's you know that's always going to be the struggle, you know, unfortunately, man. That's sad though. That is sad. But I am but to finish this off about Tyler, I just want particularly black men. I need black men to pay attention to me. Do not let black women gaslight you into hating Tyler. They hate Tyler for other reasons. So whatever I'm talking about, if Tyler get a parking ticket, they're gonna be on her ass. If Tyler get caught drunk at night in like her hometown, they're gonna be on her ass because they dislike her for other reasons. It doesn't have nothing to do about colorism or color or where she's from. Tyler is a light-skinned chick. She's 22 years old. She's a young woman. She has a very petite figure, right? So you've seen like many, even many BWs, they will talk about, oh, if you like Tyler, that means something's wrong with you, or you're a borderline predator and all this stuff. So when you see comments like that, you're like, oh, that's why you hate Tyler, because she's young, pretty, and not necessarily just her being young. I'm so sorry, pretty. It's mainly because she's young and skinny. Because if she was young and fat, they would love her. Like, how they love Lizzo, and they love, fruit booty, people of the rainbow community. Oh man. Oh yeah, and oh yeah, me personally, I am going to continue to diss the rainbow community. I'm just gonna keep doing it only because there's too many times where particularly women in general are like, now I'm seeing women on Twitter, they're saying the F word and they're not getting their accounts taken. It's wild to me how, like, I'm seeing women on there saying the F word, addressing the rainbow community, and the rainbow community are not doing anything about it. So it's clear what this whole agenda is about. Is just trying to act like straight men are the anomaly when we're the majority, but they're just trying to act like there's something wrong with us. So that's why that's why they use these same tactics in terms of using the rainbow community to diss us and using certain terms. It's so this is why I will continue to diss the rainbow community until they start being fair. You need to start calling out the women that are using you as sick jokes to diss straight men. Anyway. But yeah, shout out to Tyler. Yeah, Tyler, she's unfortunately, I just hope that black men aren't falling for it, but it looks like a lot of them are. It's they're mad at Tyler for other reasons. They won't admit it, I don't expect them to, but they're mad at Tyler for other reasons. Okay, also let's bring up, oh, speaking of which, man. Oh man. I saw something very interesting, man. And AJ was talking about this video the other day, and I would have sworn I preloaded it, but I guess I lost the video. I'm gonna show you this masterpiece right here. I'm gonna show you this masterpiece that it's went viral though, so people have probably seen this video. Here you're gonna have this dude. This guy is a freaking genius, or whoever gave him the idea. Awesome job by this man. Awesome job by this man. So this man, he's gonna approach a regular looking woman, and at a gay pride parade event, and he's going to address her as a trans woman, and look at the reaction that she has. She's going to have a conniption, a what we call a libtard malfunction. A libtard malfunction. You got to see this. You got to see this, man.
Beautiful trans woman out here. Tell us about your transition. How it went?
Can I hold this, please?
No.
So I have a question for you. Why are you asking me those questions?
Like we're interviewing like trans women and stuff like that.
I'm not a trans woman.
Oh no, we're fully supportive. Do you want to talk about sort of transitioning or anything like that, or like what people
I
can?
never transitioned because I was born a woman.
No, of course you're a woman. Of course.
Does it make a trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are 100% a woman.
I'm not a trans woman.
Is there another definition that people like to use, or?
You thought I was a man?
Beautiful trans woman out here. Tell us about your.
And this is why you don't play their games. This is why you don't play their games. She basically disproved the whole transformer movement. Just Because this is gonna be the same broad. This is gonna be the same broad. Talk about transformers are real women. They're real women. You must address the no, 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 no. Nope, 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 nope. This is not we not finna play pretend. And shout out to Lord Jamar. Because I remember Vlad, when Lord Jamar would do those interviews with Vlad, and I remember Vlad was trying to talk about Caitlyn Jenner. And Lord Jamar was still like every time he asked a question about Caitlyn Jenner, and then Lord Jamar would be like, "Okay, how is he doing?" Oh, okay, okay, what's Bruce up to? And because Vlad was trying to get him so hard to really address Caitlyn as a her, and Lord Jamar was like, "Nah, we not finna play these games." This was in 2014. This interview, I was laughing, and Lord Jamar kind of set me on that path to where we can't play these games because now here you are. It's the same thing with the somebody said it in the comment section is the Lizzo effect. They all are going to lie to you in your face and say fat people are beautiful and blah blah blah. Then you'll say, "Oh, you look like you." If you tell a woman you look like Lizzo, she's going to hurt you. You remember that video I showed you guys in one of my earlier live streams, and I one of the dudes said, "Hey, do you think Lizzo's beautiful?" And they were like, "Yeah." "Oh, okay, so you look like Lizzo." And then the guy got assaulted by the woman. So this is the type of you're playing. We not playing these childish games. We can't play these childish games with childish people. Anyway, shout out to this guy right here. This guy is a freaking genius. I wanna give him his propers. I don't know what his I guess his Instagram thing is called No Cap on God. Um oh man. But whoever this guy is a genius because it debunks the nonsense off rip. Here she is. She thinks she looking cute in her rainbow dress that she got at the flea market. You know what I'm saying? But oh man, Pyro, what's up, bro? Oh man. Oh yeah, Harp's Desire was talking about the earlier when I was talking about thin women. So Harp's Desire said it's extremely disturbing to see the hate towards thin women these days among women on social media. I thought it was just a few crazies on Twitter, but no, it's literally non-anonymous profiles on Facebook. And like I said, that the self, when we talk about sabotage, it'll be a lot of particularly young BWs, or sorry, it'll be it'll be young black girls, right? And then there'll be like that one black girl or two of them that are skinny. And that's where the sabotage begins because then the older black woman will see a girl like that and be like, "Oh no, you need some meat on your bones." And they'll basically fatten them up. So that the sabotage even starts really that young. It's really sad to see. It's really sad to see. Literally saying if you like thin women, then you might as well say you like children. Yep. And Harp's Desire he's not lying. There are posts on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter where you'll have women saying if you like skinny women, oh, that means you like kids. Like they will make posts like this, and you're just like, this is just you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's just like crazy shaming language. This is why I don't talk, particularly when it comes to BWs. I don't debate BWs at all. Like that is never gonna happen. They've lost it. they've lost their mind. Oh man. But anyway, man, shout out to this guy right here. Because just this post right here, it just what okay, if you're a person that's pro transformer woman or whatever this nonsense is, how can you come back from this? How can you uh 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 how do you logically explain your way out of what I just saw right here? Logically. How? How? How can you even be mad at me and say, "Oh, Transformers, they're not women"? Well, first of all, they're obviously not women, but off the reaction, it's clear that they're just living in La La Land, and then we have to acquiesce to them living in La La Land. It's just it's wild. It's wild. Let's play the video again, though.
Transition, how it
Can I
went?
hold this, please?
No.
So I have a question for you. Why are you asking me those questions?
Like we're interviewing like trans women and stuff like that.
I'm not a trans woman. I'm a.
Oh no, we're
This is where she malfunctions. I'm not a trans woman. Yes, you're a real woman. Say it. You don't have to play, pretend.
we're fully supportive. Do you want to talk about sort of transitioning or anything like that, or like what people
I
can?
never transitioned because I was born a woman.
Yikes. Like I really want to see the people that are pro transformers and whatever, pro rainbow, these people. I really want to see logically how they can explain, because what I do, this is what I do, because when it comes to these people, when it comes to women, or when it comes to people living in La La Land, I show them videos like this. I don't explain logically. I don't go with the statistics and no. You just got to show them this. That's it, and then just be like, explain that. just this is, I like using real world life examples when it comes to this, because if you go about this logically, you're gonna lose, because they're not dealing with logic. You just go, oh, you think transformer women are real women? You take this man's approach. Hey, shout out to you in your transition. I didn't and the real shit will come out. I love the approach of people call it the Lizzo effect, right? I love that approach. Oh, you think Lizzo is beautiful, right? Yeah, I think you look like Lizzo. Nice, that's the approach you got to take it, because it dispels. It makes then that person has to make a decision. Do we want to keep living in La La Land, or do we want to live in reality? Because we already know women are very defensive when it comes to these kind of things.
No, of course you're a woman. Of course.
Does it make a trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are 100% a woman.
I'm not a trans woman.
Is there another definition that people like to use, or
You thought I was a man?
beautiful trans woman?
And right at the end, you thought I was a man. Yeah, well, there you go. there it is, guys. Like, this is where you can't even, like, if you put this in front of one of these people, the Transformers, that's all you got to do right there. That's all you need to do. Forget the logic, because they're not even gonna. They're not relying on logic. They're just relying on fantasy. Man, shout out to this guy's channel, though.
Who picket cotton? Us! My skin! My ancestors! Who built the buildings? Mexicans! Who planted rice? The Asians!
And would you ever get pegged?
Who picket cotton?
What the F is this channel, yo? What? This dude is wild. What? Oh, man. This is a wild channel. But, man, shout out to this guy, man. Shout out to this guy. Hey, yo, man, that's crazy, man. But shout out to that guy. This is how you approach the crazies. You use their logic against them and just act like, oh, what's the matter? What's going on? And they'll snitch on themselves. They'll snitch on themselves. Let's look. Let's see another one. Let's see what else we got here. Another video I was going to show you guys. Oh no, this is the Straggleville videos. The Straggleville. But I'll say this, maybe this might be a little bit of a warm up on the Michaela Peterson nonsense. This might be a bit of a warm up towards this, you know, um, you know, the conservatives are easily fooled. Like it's to the point where it's clear like this is what like particularly Caucasian women they got this figured out. They know like okay, I'm about to be out of my prime or I'm about to do this. Then all of a sudden, oh, I don't like feminism and oh they indoctrinated me in college and all this. You're just you're just like, man, oh yeah. So you finally realize that you've been indoctrinated once you got impregnated by somebody of another race, and then now you need somebody to take care of you and the bastard. Oh, you finally realize that feminism is a cancer when you hit the age of 27 and you're looking for somebody to take care of you and all that. Oh, okay. And now you're trying to tell me what a real man is. Oh, okay. 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 But anyway, let's bring up the lily pad girl, right? I'm gonna call her lily pad, but the lily girl, right? Remember the girl that was talking about broke ass ninjas, and then like, she was supposed to be the new face of the right wing grifter spear, and they found out that she's a single mom of a brown kid. And I was like, I think, and I remember when I first covered her, I was like, I think she's a mud shark. I can't put my finger on it, but for her to even say broke as ninjas, she said it like she be around ninjas. And for her to come to that conclusion is because she's probably was fornicating with broke ass ninjas. So I was like, that's the only way that she could come up to that conclusion, you know. And then they kind of found out that she's kind of a frog, and now she's trying to recover. So this is another video I found on the broad, and I saved this video because somebody had this caption where just like, this is the shortest prime I've ever seen. She's the Jeremy Lin of the right wing grifting. That is the perfect analysis of these people coming in trending hard. Like, for example, the Hawk Tua girl, right? I love the term the Jeremy Lin of the right wing grifting. Anybody that remembers Jeremy Lin, remember like he came into New York and everybody thought he was going to be the best thing ever. He was scoring a lot of points a night, but it was just him being elite for 1 month in basketball, and people took it way too far because he was playing in New York. He was Asian, right? And he was Christian. That did help. He was a very open out and out, Christian dude. So it was almost a Tebow-esque effect that he got in terms of the fame that he got. And unfortunately, ever since that month, he's never been really that good. He's been like he's been okay, but like never really like he never was that guy after that. But anyway, let's listen to Lily and how she's going to grift here. I forgot what she talked about here though.
God, don't even get me started on the self-affirmation and the star signs and your rocks and your crystals, you fag. Are you dumb? You're the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. These rocks and what even is that? Like, what the fuck? And they're not even cheap either. Like, girls will spend a bag getting these stupid gay crystals and rocks. Like, no, bitch, I hate fake hippies. These are just...
You know what? I'm not going to keep playing this video because she's saying language that could literally get me kicked off YouTube, that can get me kicked off Instagram. I can't even say this stuff on Instagram, but this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like on Instagram, on Twitter, women can literally say whatever they want. They can say literally anything they want. Anything they want. Which all she's doing is repeating stuff that she heard from other men. Let's keep it a buck. And they don't get their accounts taken, no strikes. This shit is crazy, man. even in the beginning, I was talking to you about women. They can say the F word with impunity, and they don't get their account
Just fake
taken.
hippies. Like, don't talk to me about what a hippie is, bitch. Have you ever? I've lived out of my car before. I've lived in a literal shack by the beach while I was lifeguarding. Like, I've camped in my car. I grew up camping. Okay, don't tell me what a hippie is. And I'm gonna tell you right now. If you look like a hippie, you are not a hippie. If you are one of these stupid fucks that go and spend good money on some rocks that you could just go pick up out of your backyard and it would be a little bit more original, you're not a hippie. You don't even believe amazing. I will succeed. No, you won't, bitch. None of us are pretty. We're all ugly.
So yeah, this is when I would see videos like this, I'm like, this girl is a mud shark, dog. This is she's trying way too hard to be something that she's not. That's how she always came across to me. Like I would see videos like I'm like, she doesn't really believe it. She's going extra hard for the right wing griftosphere, but you have to see past it. If you are a man, you need to see past this. You can't trust a woman saying everything that you want to hear via social media. The only woman you can really trust on that end, if they really believe it, is the woman that actually be saying this in real life, which is very few. Meaning you'll hear her amongst women and be like, "Hey, don't put that man on child support. He didn't do nothing." Don't Women like that are rare. Or another woman calling out another woman for divorcing their husband and then dirtying their. It's very rare that a woman will literally come out in life. Now you're seeing women on social media talking about other women. That's the only reason why they're doing it, is because there's a marketplace for women saying what men want to hear, and men will literally give them a lot of money and give them mad super chats for them saying what they want to hear. This is what I want people to understand. When you're seeing women in the RP, in the concert, or in, even in the trad sphere, right? In these, spaces, and they're saying everything that men want to hear. Oh wow, this is the one woman that's taking accountability. No, they're taking accountability is because they can profit off of it. If they were demonetized, they're not even, trust me. They're not going to keep making videos like that. They're not going to keep making videos if they're getting demonetized. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. So they know there's a lane to make money. And the perfect example of that is Tyrese Gibson's ex-wife, Samantha Lee. This who might be the worst grifter of all. A self-proclaimed somebody that's trying to be that thinks she's part of the manosphere, saying manosphere talking points, but simultaneously dragging Tyrese through family court. It's wild that men are letting her get away with this. It's wild. But this is the stuff that we got to deal with. Anyways. And this is why even me, like, I can't get behind a Pearly, because I know what she is. Even though Pearly has done some things lately where I'm like, oh, nice job, but I still don't trust her because I know what you did. I know who you are. So there's no way I could ever trust you. Oh man, yeah, man. Oh yeah, Rocky. People get mad when I start talking about, Jeremy Lin, Tebow, and these people. Like, these people were like the most overhyped, one of the most overhyped athletes that I've seen. But like, unfortunately, Americans, they love a story. They're too addicted to the storyline and not the actual substance of what the athlete is. They're way too addicted to the storyline, right? They're so addicted to finding black athletes with like a certain type of family, and then they'll search for a struggle story and then they can't find it. Remember, like, did you see that the black couple that the white woman was trying to interview during the recent NFL draft? She was basically trying to get them to coon on camera. And remember when she was just like, how far did you guys come? And she's like, we're from Baton Rouge. She was trying so hard to get that struggle story out of them, because Americans are so, it's not, people just think it's just racism. No, that's just, Americans are just so addicted to the storyline. What's the most captivating thing that we could, what's the soundbite? Let me see if I can find that video. Because I laughed so hard. We come from Louisiana. NFL draft. She tried so hard to get that struggle story from that family. I'm like, you do know there's plenty of black couples that are doing well in life, that have families, that have houses and jobs. I gotta find. Okay, yeah. This is it right here. This is it right here, man. Oh man, I found it. Fair use.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I gotta find the full video. The full video is hilarious because she took it another step too far. She was just like, can I get she basically was like, can I get a whoop whoop? I gotta find that full video, man. Baton Rouge. I gotta find out what player that was too. Oh man, nah, that's not the full video. I need the full video, man. I was laughing so hard.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I gotta find the full video. I can't find it. I can't. It was like a whole. It was like 30. It was like a 30-second video. Yeah, it was like a 30-second. It was a 30-second video. It was a long video, and she even said, "Can I get a something from a base?" She asked for some kind of a ghetto chant from them. Oh man. What do you say? She's a tradcon pearly, or maybe not. Nah, it's just that broad here, like, Lily, she's just a grifter. Like she's not, like, obviously when she was a mud shark, she probably catered her language, her accent, and everything. She's just a follower. She's just a follower. That's just what she is. And she's more than a mud shark. She's just a follower. She's just she's a clout chaser. And she embodies everything that's wrong with most females that are part of the tradcon, movement via social media, online, or in real life. This girl embodies everything that's wrong. So before we even get on, what's her name, Michaela, she embodies everything that's wrong. That's just how she is. Oh, I already played that video when they exposed her. But like, yeah, Lily. All right. How about this video right here? When it comes to these trad girls, right? So here you have Alpha Fox on Twitter, even though I don't really respect people that refer to themselves as alphas. But here he says, women are waking up and realizing a trad wife is a win. Taking care of your man, kids, house, and actually being a mother is not a bad thing. And he's going to watch this video that I'm about to show you and come to this conclusion. And I'm going to tell you why he's actually wrong and why he's actually missing the big picture. So fair use.
Men are like, we want a traditional woman. We want a woman at home, taking care of me, taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, doing all this. And women are like, have done the feminism, they've done the 9 to 5, they're all broke, they're unhappy, they're like, why are we working so hard? This sucks. And then they're like, okay, we accept your terms. And then men are like, okay. And then we're like, okay, so that's going to take a lot of money to have this life. So are you going to be a provider full time? Are you going to give me and the children the lives that we want? And then as soon as women turn it on men and accept, men are like, oh my gosh, you're just all gold diggers. And then it's like, so what do you want from us? There's no winning. Yeah, we do want to be at home with the kids. And yeah, if we do that, you have to provide, sweetheart. Men are like, we want to.
Now, men will, for some reason, see this as a win. I don't know why. I don't know how you see this as a win, but the problem is men are really, they want to, like, when men, particularly with most men in this country, if they see a woman that looks like this, they want to take care of her, right? So they're going to look past all the red flags. Now, the way that she's already talking, first of all, her just talking is just a red flag, just in general. And number two, what she's saying, everything that she's saying, oh, what are you gonna do for me? What are you gonna do for me? It's the same, it's basically the same thing as when you hear black women saying, oh, this ninja gotta do this. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing, except she's using a different type of language. You know, these are the so-called trad women that these men want, and these women are not trad at all. They're not. And she basically snitches on herself in the beginning, where she admits that basically most women were pro-feminism until they realized they had to pay bills and they had to really take care of themselves. So she's basically admitting that in the beginning, and now it's now that they don't want to do that anymore. Now it's almost like they flip it on men and say, now they basically have us it's almost like they have us at gunpoint. Wait, what are you gonna do for me? It's almost like now they have us at gunpoint. Instead, and notice how she never mentions what she's going to do for him. She said what she's gonna probably do for the kids, what she's gonna do for herself. She mentions nothing about what she's going to do for him. And for some reason, men think this is a win. It's mind-boggling.
Men are like, we want a traditional woman. We want a woman at home, taking care of me, taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, doing all this. And women are like, have done.
So already off rip, when I saw that, just her first statement, I'm like, oh, she's basically mocking men. Off rip, she's already mocking men. But most men are not going to pick up on it because they find her attractive. Like, I would say most men, I'm talking about of all races, will find that attractive. Her. You know, this is the most desired, female prototype of the mainstream society. Right? Because like I said, the when you look just population wise, we know what the population is. They're mostly looking for that. You know what I mean?
On the feminism, they've done the 9 to 5, they're all broke, they're unhappy, they're like, why are we working so hard? This sucks. And then they're like, okay, we accept your terms.
So does this sound like does that actually so the women that quote unquote are turning back to traditionalism, does that actually sound like they want to do that? Or is it just, oh man, I lost. Let me disguise my L in terms of, oh, I'm letting go of the feminism now. I was indoctrinated.
And then men are like, okay. And then we're like, okay, so that's going to take a lot of money to have this life. So are you going to be a provider full time? Are you going to give me and the children the lives that we want? And then as soon as women turn it on men and accept, men are like, oh my gosh, you're just all gold diggers. And then it's like
more shaming language. And by the way, this is how unfortunately, women are not people talk because women, a lot of women will talk about emotional intelligence. They don't even realize when many men are talking about like 50-50. When men were talking about splitting the bill at dinner and all this stuff, that was a test. They were calling women's bluff on feminism and equality. I don't even know why women can't even see this. This was men when men were asking for 50-50 or talking about splitting the bill and blah 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 and all this stuff. That was men calling women's bluff in feminism, in their beliefs in feminism. Because if you were really about equality, you'd be more than happy to split a bill. You'd be more than happy to do a coffee date. You know what I mean? But it's pretty clear what the agenda is. It's pretty clear what the agenda is. They don't even realize they didn't, like, most hoes did not pass the test. Most hoes did not pass the test. You know what I mean? On that end. They don't even realize they didn't pass the test. They didn't even like that. They don't even realize that was just a test to see, oh, is she really about what she about, or is she capping? Oh man. But anyway, let's kind of dive into Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson, right? Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. And what people need to understand, because I've been saying this for a while. Because people don't understand. People don't understand what's going on with Peterson. Michaela is running her father's account, bro. Michaela Peterson is running Dr. Jordan Peterson's account. I've been saying this for I don't know how long now. Because they've directly and indirectly kind of said, like, Michaela has indirectly kind of said, oh yeah, I'm the one running my dad's affairs and all of that. But here's the problem. Michaela is a clout chaser, right? Michaela is what you call, this is a clout chaser. So I remember, once Michaela started getting on the scene, because, Jordan Peterson started getting famous. And what people don't understand, Jordan Peterson initially started gaining notoriety. Were basically on his stance on when he was talking about the Transformers, and he was talking about the gender stuff and the pronouns, and who I guess they were talking about there were certain Canadian laws that were about to be passed to where if you didn't address a transformer the way that they needed to be, then it was going to be a crime or something. And Dr. Peterson was basically talking about how this is an infringement on free speech. Now, conservatives were kind of lifting him up in the air over that, but the more research that you do on a Dr. Jordan Peterson, right, the more you realize he's more controlled opposition more than anything, in my opinion. I could be wrong about that. He's more controlled ops. You know what I mean? And like I said, the reason why I actually people might disagree with me or not, how your family is ran, right? How your kids look up to you, how your family is being run. It's a big reflection on what you really believe in. And this is my opinion. I could be, like I said, I could be wrong. And not every family is perfect, obviously. But this is why I have more of a respect for a LeBron James more than a Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is a smart dude, you know. He has saved many a men's lives, right? You know, a lot of young men look up to him, but he's very blue pill. He's very, very blue pill. A lot of people don't realize this, but especially when he would talk about how when he would talk about his wife, when he would talk about his quote unquote Christian values and blah, 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 and how he didn't believe at first and now he does, and him crying and all this shit. This is where I was like, something's off with my homie. something's amiss. Not everybody's perfect, obviously. I'm not, but it's just like, you're just like, Then I heard his wife talk, and I'm like, oh Lord. And then I heard his daughter talk, and then I see Dr. Peterson. Oh my God, he's addicted to this pill. He's a pill popper. He's this. Then I see Michaela going crazy. Then I see Michaela changing her hair 100 times. I see her with lip filler. She's done a lot of moderations to her face. People don't notice that, but I be noticing things like that. And I'm like, yep, there it is. Then I see Michaela Peterson with the pictures with educate. I'm like, up, there it is. Then and people want to understand, need to understand. There, people are like, man, Jordan Peterson's message, it's been changed. It's because first of all, his brain isn't the same. The problem is if you're a pill popper, it affects your brain chemistry. Number one. Number two, there are people in his camp, mainly his daughter, that is affecting how he puts certain things out there. So now that she's in, like Michaela's now in charge of his marketing, his brand, his Twitter account, his main Twitter account. So you'll see certain tweets and you're just like, that doesn't even sound like something Dr. Peterson would say. That's because Michaela's behind this. You know, so this is something that people need to understand. Not only is Peterson kind of spiraling out of control mentally because of what he went through personally, you know, dealing with, you know, his wife's health problems. So and then dealing with his daughter being a 304, because he clearly doesn't have any control in his household. So this is why it is not unfair to call into question Dr. Peterson as a person and be like, should I take what you say with a grain of salt? Oh man. But you know, that's, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, I don't really think, like me personally, as a man, I don't think people should be looking to I don't think young men should look up to Jordan Peterson, because a guy like Jordan Peterson is just leading them to slaughter, but in a how do I say this? He's just leading them to slaughter, but in a more comfortable way. A more comfortable slaughter where they don't even realize they're being slaughtered. This is why I believe Jordan Peterson, to me, he's controlled opposition. That's just my opinion on that. So when you notice, right, Dr. Peterson. Oh, first of all, let me look if I missed any chats. Oh, low key Rocky hit the man nail on the head. He said they got student loan debt, so they cosplaying as trad cons. Guys, this is why I was like, yo, people don't understand the bind that a lot of young American women are in when it pertains to student loan debt. It's literally the crash. Remember the crash of 2008 with the housing market crash, there's going to be a student loan debt crash that is going to be just devastating, because most women that I've met, they're saying, I'm not paying back my student loan debt. So you'll hear women say that, but you don't understand. Like they can't. It's not that they won't pay it back. They can't pay it back. Yeah, I don't think people understand. It's not that they won't. It's not their decision. They can't pay it back. The amount that they owe in student loan debt. This is why you'll have even women. They'll basically stay in college. They're always getting a degree. They're basically staying in college forever, because if they actually have to start paying it back, they can't pay it back. They're like, a lot of women are in a real deep ish when it comes to student loan debt. Like they're really in deep crap in that. And really most Americans are, but so with that being said, there's going to be a lot, particularly in the future. And then on top of that, it's going to be a really bad, what they say in Mafia 3, a shitstorm. Oh man, that hippie dude, he said, man, a shitstorm is coming, man. Man, because then let's take into account the amount of student loan debt they're in, and then let's take into account most women are going to be single and childless. Well, I don't know childless, but most women are going to be single past the year 2030. And then on top of that, they don't have no man to take care of them in terms of taking care of their student loan debt and the other debts oh man, this is it's almost a perfect shitstorm, bro. It is a perfect shitstorm that is about to kick off, man. That's cool. Oh man, it's gonna be wild. But if you look at Dr. Peterson's Twitter here, right? Once you look at Dr. Peterson's Twitter, right? Oh Lord, what did I just click? Anyway, once you see his Twitter, you start to realize, you're just like, who's running his Twitter account? A lot of the his pro small hat stuff, and people are starting to see the real Dr. Peterson when it comes to what he believes of the small hats. When it comes to Michaela Peterson now, the reason why I'm bringing this up right now, Michaela got herself into a shitstorm. Let's bring her up on Twitter. Michaela Peterson. But just to let you guys know, she runs Jordan Peterson's Twitter, his media, his social media, his if he wants statements out, Michaela is the running her stuff. So earlier, because of what she got into it with, I don't know who and and who everybody else, she was calling for certain people to be censored on Twitter because they were saying something that she didn't like. And she's unfortunately dragging her father into this mess because she was also using her father's Twitter account to promote censorship because somebody said something that she didn't like. Now, she's made a video. Apparently, I didn't see this video yet. Apparently, she's doubling down on calling for censorship. So let's take a look at this, a look-see here from this video.
Anyway.
And like I said, Michaela Peterson, fake blonde, that's filler. And she's had work done on her nose and her lips. People don't know this, but that's another story.
Anyway, Nick Fuentes, I don't know because I don't care, a well-known anti-Semitic boy, went after me along with his thousands of anti-Semitic followers because I said that people who use the hashtag filth or rats when referring to an entire nation of people should be censored. Like I said, this was after I got...
Let's repeat what she said. So this was the tweet earlier when she goes, again, there's a differentiation between referring to an entire population of people as filth rats and referring to rat-like human as a rat. Hard to differentiate. I get it. But she was saying that a person like that that what she was trying to say that anybody that has anything to say about the small hat community should be censored. That's basically a lot of what her tweets were basically aiming at, and she was called out for it, and rightfully so. And I'll say this, it doesn't help that I'm sorry if anybody of the small hat community is listening. I'm sorry, but let me just look up a picture real quick. Jewish people coming out sewers. Man, when that video came out, boy, remember the tunnel stuff that was happening around in New York City? And that video went viral of the dude coming out the sewers. That I'm not gonna bring up that video. I'm not gonna bring up that video. That video does not help the small hats case. That was crazy. That was wild for that video to be out there at the same. When you literally have a video of a person of the small hat community just coming out the sewers like a literal rat. That does not help. That does not help nobody's case here. Anyways, let's continue.
Along with his thousands of anti-Semitic followers, because I said that people who use the hashtag filth or rats when referring to an entire nation of people should be censored. Like I said, this was after I got attacked for retweeting a medical doctor who had the original anti-Semitic post, retweeting it in a negative way. Again, I meant these people's content shouldn't be pushed by the algorithm. I shouldn't have said censored. And Nick Fuentes responds with, your dad called me a rat. And I would like to clarify.
Oh, interesting. So what Nick Fuentes needs to understand, that was Michaela calling you that wasn't Jordan Peterson calling you a rat. That was Michaela calling you a rat. Because like I said, Michaela is running, she's running her father's Twitter. Oh man. Anyway.
Like to clarify, I think calling individuals rats or whatever is fine, particularly if they are rat-like. I think it's...
Michaela, you got caught up again. The reason why she's going hard on the defense on that end, because it is interesting, because your dad allegedly called him a rat via the Twitter. And then in the same breath, you believe because Nick Fuentes is referring to a group of people as rats, you thought he should be censored, and your dad used the same exact language when referring to him the other week. Now, the reason why she looks caught up right now is because that was her actually referring to Nick Fuentes as a rat. Not her father didn't say that. That was her via her father's Twitter account saying that. That's why she's trying to explain this stuff away, like because low-key she doesn't want this to be associated with her father, because that was really her, but she can't admit that was her using her father's account.
It's different when you're referring to an entire nation of people as rats that have been subject to, say, Hitler less than 100 years ago, when the Nazis of the 1930s also referred to those people as rats as a tactic.
Nah, don't bring that up. Your dad called him a rat. He called a group of people rats. What's the difference? You used the exact same language. You guys really should have just left the beef at that, but you took it, Michaela, you took it another step too far, because particularly when it comes to the small hats, they are very sensitive. I'm talking about, they are very sensitive. Let's take the Kanye West thing, for example, right? Remember when Kanye West was saying all this stuff about what he thought about ninjas and Black Americans and what Black people need to do and what Black people need to stop doing? And he was saying all this stuff about Black people and white people. I'm talking about, because in the past, Kanye West was talking about white people in the past, and Black people were cheering him on. And then now Kanye West started talking about Black people, and different groups of people were cheering him on. But then as soon As Kanye West starts, he says one thing about the small hat community. They try to basically take his whole career from in front of our eyes. I'm talking about, this was some wild stuff where they said, we don't even want your billions of dollars in our bank. Take your money out our banks. That's how he that's how far that small hat community will take things. And you're just like, wait a minute. So Kanye West can say what he wants about black people and white people ad nauseum, say what he wants about, calling Kim Kardashian mother Chris Jong-un, right? And it's all fair game. But then as soon as he touches that community, oh, we finna take his money from him. Oh, he can't rap here. He can't. What? Nah. But like I said, when it comes to that community, they're very sensitive. So much so, Michaela didn't even realize how stupid she sounded by saying, "Oh, Nick Fuentes needs to be censored." After Nick Fuentes done said all this stuff about everybody else. And previously, the week before, your father allegedly referred to him as a rat. Using the same, and then he used the same language back, basically at him, and now you want him to be censored. This goes basically against everything your father basically stood for. This is why I've been saying for a while, Michaela is ruining her father's legacy. So Rocky says it was all downhill from there when photos of Michaela Peterson and Andrew Tate in his bedroom showed up. I was like, oh man, I don't know if that was in his bedroom, but that picture said it, told me everything I needed to know. I was like, oh, oh yeah, man, I'm telling you, them tunnels, man, they swept that story under the rug, bro. They swept that story under the rug. I was like, oh, nah, man. That basically proving all the conspiracy theories, the quote unquote crazies, the Alex Jones, basically proving them all right. Oh man. But yeah, that video, that joint was great, man. I saw that video with that dude coming out of the sewer like a literal rat, like a literal New York rat. That was crazy. I'm like, so like there's certain stereotypes, it just explains itself. You don't even got to say or do anything. That was wild. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see what other excuses that Michaela can come up with
to breed disgust. So yeah, I think referring to Jews as rats is completely different than referring to Nick Fuentes as a rat. And if you can't understand the differentiation, I can't help. Social media really allows views to propagate unnaturally. If some of these anti-Semitic tweets were spoken in an ordinary public setting, the individual would be.
But why is this where you draw the line? Why is it Nick Fuentes can say everything about anything else, but then as soon as he touches that community, he needs to be censored? Why is that? Why do you draw the line there? So it's cool if it's everybody else, but just not that community. They just can't be talked about. That's always my question when it comes to that specific community.
Punched. But then these views grow and their followers go out into public thinking everyone agrees with that view. I don't think freedom of speech is the same thing as being pushed by an algorithm. I shouldn't have to go on TikTok to hide propaganda pushed by the Chinese government, and I don't want to go on X to hide Nazi posts from my feed. Nothing against Elon here. I think there are bots or fake accounts behind a lot of this and possibly funding from Iran, and I know he's trying to get that under control.
She's just making it worse, dog. She's just making it so much worse. Oh, man. Somebody said Michaela Peterson doubles down on calling for censorship. Michaela and Jordan Peterson are literal commies. Yeah. Oh, man. Let me see the Peters. Yeah, this is true. He said the Petersons are clowns owned by The small hats. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's another thing. That's another part that, people are afraid to talk about. And particularly when it comes to the beef between the small hats and the aboriginals right over there, is really showing, the track, showing you guys the track, who the track cons are really for. They're not for y'all, bro. I'm telling you, they're not for y'all. They on that bullshit. Oh man. Oh man. So right here, shout out to Jake Shields. I remember seeing this tweet. I thought I saved it, but thank God I saw it again. Michaela Peterson says, I'm a other N word, the other N word that you can't say. Say, and my speech should be silenced. The reason is I'm against the ethnic cleansing of Palestinian, the Aborigines, and don't believe in hate speech laws. Is she an idiot or bought off by Israel? Well, like I said, the last part of your question is the answer. The latter part of your question is the answer. You know, somebody said you'd still smash. Oh Lord. Anywho. Oh. So apparently Candace Owens had a reaction to Michaela Peterson's recent actions. Let's see what Candace Owens has to say. Fair use. By the way, let's do a fair use, by the way. Fair use. Let's put it on 1.25. Okay, let's listen to what Candace Owens has to say in reaction to Michaela Peterson.
You have to have the ability to critique bad ideas, just in the way that you were doing it. You think that what that woman wrote was a bad idea. So you are free to say that. People are then able to respond to you when you have a bad idea. And it's better to just own it when you do, rather than to pretend that there's some Nazi conspiracy that was happening on X. I was offended. I am not a Nazi. And when you start doing that, when you start calling everybody a Nazi, pretending that they're being funded by Iran, unfortunately, you have become a leftist. Here is the final.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the whole thing about them being funded by Iran. I'm really. Yeah, I forgot about that. Like, that kind of just basically slipped past me because I'm just so used to the rhetoric. And then she did try to sneak that in there. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's continue, man. Shout out to Candace Owens here.
Clip from her episode discussing what happened. Take a listen.
Anyway, Nick Fuentes, I don't know because I don't care, a well-known anti-Semitic boy, went after me along with his thousands of anti-Semitic followers because I said that people who use the hashtag filth or rats when referring to an entire nation of people should be censored. Like I said, this was after I got attacked for
fair use, by the way. Let me see if we got any comments. Okay, let's continue back.
For retweeting a medical doctor who had the original anti-Semitic post, retweeting it in a negative way. Again, I meant these people's content shouldn't be pushed by the algorithm. I shouldn't have said censored. And Nick Fuentes responds with, your dad called me a rat. And I would like to clarify, I think calling individuals rats or whatever is fine, particularly if they are rats.
That's how I know that that was her that was on her father's account. Because it really should just be like, if she didn't respond back, that means Peterson really said that. Or first of all, if Peterson already had really said that to him, I don't even think she would even have anything to say to Nick Fuentes, because Dr. Peterson would have had a say and be like, oh yeah, I already tussled with this guy. Don't worry about him. So that's how I know that was her that said that.
Rat-like. I think it's different when you're referring to an entire nation of people as rats that have been subject to, say, Hitler less than 100 years ago, when the Nazis of the 1930s also referred to those people as rats as a tactic to breed disgust. So yeah, I think referring to Jews as rats is completely different than referring to Nick Fuentes as a rat. And if you can't understand the differentiation, I can't help.
Okay, so first and foremost, she just lied. Okay, Nick Fuentes did not reply to a tweet of her saying that the entire nation of Jews should not be called. No, he replied to the tweet that I just showed you earlier, where she straight up called for censorship. And so the people that then flooded this.
This was the tweet I was looking for, because she deleted this tweet. She said, yes, I think the other N-words on X equating small hats with rats and using hashtags like filth should have more content moderation and censorship. No, I'm not retracting that statement. So when she had made that tweet earlier, she tried to delete it. Well, referring to the tweet.
This back forth because she called for censorship. She said, if you equate someone to a rat, and then Nick Fuentes showed that he had just been equated to a rat from her father. So obviously that appeared to the public as extremely hypocritical, and people were commenting on that. These were not Nazis rushing to his aid, but people that were going, hey, you made a bit of an uh-oh here. Again, I am happy that she's clarifying. I still disagree with her. I don't believe that there should be some censorship or moderation. I think people are free to log off. I think Michaela Peterson, if she feels overwhelmed by Twitter and free speech, is free to delete her account. And I think she should. I genuinely said yesterday to her because she's just been like on a...
So that means I was wrong. So basically Nick Fuentes wasn't even calling nobody a group of people rats. She said it first. And Nick Fuentes was like, your dad just called me a rat the other day. So Michaela, she can't even keep track on the nonsense that she's saying on the accounts. So that was just Michaela putting words in Nick Fuentes' mouth. So Nick Fuentes didn't even say that in particular. Wow. Interesting. Interesting, man. I'll tell you that segment, that segment of small hats. I'm not saying all small hats, but that segment of small hats, they be doing weird stuff in the media. They're very sensitive. They will take what you said and run with it and just be like, oh no, you said this about. And then that's it. That's it for your career.
Viral about this, that maybe she just needs to take a break from social media. You know, there have been tons of actresses like Selena Gomez who were like, I just need to take a break from social media. Maybe she needs to take a break from social media because she's feeling overwhelmed. That's fine. But again, her other method of, first off, lying, denying, and then trying to shame or make people believe that this was about something else other than the fact that she made a direct call for censorship for which she's sort of halfway admitting she was wrong. That's a nonsense. And it's something that needs to be called out. People that are going, why are we attacking our own side? Because we are recognizing this is not our side. We believe in free speech. That's it. Okay. If she is calling for censorship.
So that's crazy though. So now I'm getting this story a little bit more straighter. Because she clearly now she put it out there first, or basically saying, yo, if you're dissing the small hats, then you need basically more censorship. And Nick Fuentes was just replying back to saying like, yo, your dad called me a rat. Just the other. But the thing is, I think what happened with Michaela, she lost track. She must have lost track because she's running her account and she's running her father's account. She definitely lost track. Oh my God. This is the problem, especially when you're dealing with a liar like Michaela Peterson. Oh man, let me show that video. Man, I gotta show the video with let me see if I can bring that video up with her and Rollo Tomasi, because I'm like, man, Michaela, this girl is a liar, dog. Hold on, let me bring up that video. There's a video when she did an interview on Rollo's show when Rollo and it was Rollo and her. They did it. She went on Rollo's show to try to clear her name, quote unquote. And she just made herself look worse. And she couldn't even keep track of her lies in terms of when Rollo was asking her the questions like, okay, so when you took that picture with Andrew Tate, when was that specifically? And she was trying to she couldn't even keep track. Let me see. Rollo Tomasi questions Michaela Peterson. I gotta find that clip. I was laughing at that one. Let me see if I want to see if I could find that part when she what she was asking. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Let me go via Rational Mail Clips because I know he has a Clips channel. I know that for a fact. I should be subscribed to that thing. Here we go. Oh, but let me find that video because she couldn't even keep up with her lies. Let me see, Michaela Peterson. Yeah, what really went down while her father was sick. So right here. Cause this woman, this is a liar, dog. I remember seeing this video and I'm like, this woman is just a liar. So Rollo Tomasi was questioning her in terms of, okay, when did you actually see Andrew Tate? So he was trying to, because she was trying to say, oh, I didn't see him while my dad was sick and blah blah blah. It wasn't like what it was written, even though that's what it was. But look at how Michaela Peterson is going to try to explain herself. It's the funniest thing, though.
So before I went to Russia, this was October. Before my dad was in the hospital, before I went to Russia, I was in Germany, and Andrew Tate invited me to come see his house and talk business. And he flew me over there for a day. I was there for a day. He was talking about starting a paywall, trying to figure out how to monetize content. And then I flew home. And so we took a couple of photos. One,
bruh, you think anybody's buying that shit? Because we already know if this was another broad that got flew out by Andrew Tate to quote unquote talk business, we already know what it was. But because we supposed to think differently because it's Michaela Peterson. Man, stop.
one's in the cigar lounge. But just because I flew over there and talked to him doesn't mean there was anything sexual that occurred, which is what happened when the internet saw that photo.
Which, of course, is what Andrew has said on pretty much any time I've thought. I actually interviewed him right after that because, of course, everybody wants to know what was going on, right? So when you put something like out at that time, that's what everybody's going to say. And he's pretty much said exactly what you have said as well. So, in fact, I think I even mentioned that. I pointed it out in the Fresh and Fit video, as a matter of fact, where they were interviewing him about that. Those, I guess, there's a couple pictures. But you got
probably there's a bit of inference that maybe something had occurred. So I just wanted to set that straight.
Right.
So,
but like I said, I'll say this: there's a lot. I know a lot of Caucasian women like this. They will just they will lie exactly like that, just looking at you with a straight face, with a blank stare, acting like you stupid. But she's clearly lying. Clearly lying.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is,
can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right here, this is where Rollo started asking the real questions about like when this actually occurred. And I like how she tried to skip past it because when you're a liar, you can't keep track of all of your lies, because it's not like you're just lying about one thing. You're lying about multiple things. When you're lying about one thing, you're actually lying about multiple things, because you need to like I said, like for example, what we're talking about lying. Say if you lie about, if you're in a basketball game, you lie about, oh, I scored this amount of points, really. Not only are you lying about that, you're actually lying about the other players on your teams, because now you're if you really score 20 points, but you're saying 30, you're taking away 10 points from somebody else that also scored. That's what people don't understand. That's how lies work. If you lying about one thing, you're actually lying about multiple things. You're not just lying about one thing. You're lying about multiple things. Right here.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is,
can I ask?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was in October of 2019, and you were in Germany.
2019.
Mm-hmm. So you were already in Germany at that time?
I'd been in Germany. I'd flew from Toronto to Germany. I was in Germany for business, and then on the way home, I stopped in Romania for a day.
Okay.
That does not add up. Right there. And Michaela, she's gonna end up catching herself. Watch.
And then January, I can't remember. That might have been 2018.
But he flew you out there, correct?
On the way back, yes.
From Germany to Romania, or all the way?
Germany to Romania, and then Romania to Canada.
Okay.
It was like, I'm busy.
when he hit that mug on her real quick, that's how he caught her up in the lie. Easily. And look how she's going to try to fix this. Look how she's going to try to fix this lie.
I'll come see. I was interested in what he's done. He's made a lot of money. He's put things behind a paywall, and I kind of wanted to learn, see. Seems like an interesting character. So I thought that could be interesting.
Were you aware what he does for a living?
No. He told me once he got there. It's not like he was hiding it.
Now, what's interesting, like I said, there women be talking about emotional intelligence. I don't know. I don't understand how she could look at Rollo Tomasi's face and the way he's kind of like scrunched up. You don't even realize that he's giving you a question where he's setting you up. Because when you see Rollo Tomasi's face scrunched up like that while he's asking the question, you can already tell that that is a question that he's like, "Are you sure?" They're like, "Uh-huh, right." That's bad.
Anything.
How did you guys meet? Oh, online?
Oh, over Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
During 2019, I guess.
I can't if that was 2019 or 2018.
Trying to you got to get your lives together. You got to get your lives together.
2018, October 2018, I think. Because 2019, it was January 2019. Hopefully I'm getting the year right, when I went to Russia with my dad.
What?
Yeah.
January 2019? Oh, Lord have mercy.
No, 2019 is right. And then it was 2020. We went to Russia with dad. So in your video, you said, oh, she brought her dad to Russia. And then while he was in the hospital, went off and, partied with Andrew Tate, which wasn't right.
That's exactly what you did.
Because that was 3 months earlier. I just wanted to.
Bitch, you can't even get your dates right. She can't even get her dates right, dog. Man, that's crazy. Oh, Lord. He said, yeah, Michaela and Andrew smashed a lot. She can't hide it. Yeah, it's pretty clear. Like, I don't even know why she still fights the like it's pretty clear and obvious, and she was in hypergamy mode. She was trying to see what she can catch. And of course he smashed, but nothing more. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple.
To clarify that.
Mind you, she was with her baby father at the time, and her baby father was financially and physically providing the treatment for her dad during the time when she went out and went to party with Andrew Tate. Just to let you guys know.
Well, that's the information that I had available to me.
Yeah, well, he tweeted the photo out 3 or 4 months later, but I mean, photos can be taken whenever and then tweeted out later. So that's
like, people don't like just the simple when I'm looking at Michaela's mannerisms, you can tell she's lying. Like, people miss that. I think is I'll say this. Let me give my Caucasian brothers a break on this end, right? Let me give my Caucasian brothers a break on this end. When you find a certain woman attractive, you'll miss certain signs. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying look, like literally the other day, I saw a girl that I used to know that I liked a lot. And even though she changed a little bit, I still see her as that same girl. All right. But because I'm biased, because I already like how she looks physically, I already was looking past that she already had a dude with her. I was already looking past that she probably already has a kid. I was already looking past. So when we find certain things attractive, right? There are people that say that Michaela Peterson's attractive. I'm not saying that she's not, but there was a lot of dudes that just think that, I guess because they look at Jordan Peterson as Jesus Christ, they kind of look at Jordan Peterson's daughter as, oh my God, that means the daughter of Jordan Peterson must be so based. No, she's a cloud chaser. She's just like the rest of the regular bitches I know, dog. You have to know this coming in, because she really be looking up in the camera and just be lying. Most of the time when I see Michaela Peterson, if she's critiquing somebody, she's talking crazy about somebody, she's lying. You see how like Candace Owens, when she was just talking, like, well, first of all, she just lied. And it's like she has to put that out there because people will miss this. Because Michaela just be lying, dog. This girl be lying. So much so, she didn't even mention that she made the tweet first. I came in, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking Nick Fuentes. No, she said the tweet first. He replied back with logic. She comes back with shaming language and more lies. Michaela Peterson is like not only is she a liar, she's actually a really bad liar, but like just off of her mannerisms, just actually watching her try, like the way she's shifting her eyes around, the way she's moving her shoulders, just subtly trying to make herself look as calm as possible. But it's clear that she can't even get her lies straight. She can't get her dates right. This girl she's a liar. That's what she is.
Well, that's the information that I had available to me.
Yeah, well, he tweeted the photo out 3 or 4 months later, but I mean, photos can be taken whenever and then tweeted out later. So
Like, just
that's the
awful
first thing I
subtle
wanted to
changes.
address.
Off rib, I'm like, oh, she lying.
And then what happened was we were living separately and my parents got really sick. And Andre ended up, and I know that this can come across as using him, but this was a very complicated situation. My parents were in the hospital over the summer. I was taking care of them. Like Andre went away. So we were living separately. Andre went away for about a month. He was in Russia and I was taking care of Scarlett. And then after my mom had surgery for cancer, getting a babysitter, going over there in the morning, grabbing Scarlett after she had a nanny, putting her to bed, getting another babysitter, going back to take.
Okay, here we go. This is also another thing that women do a lot, right? They will rattle on about details that we don't care about in their life. So like that part might be the truth, but they, like, for example, let me give you an example, right? So it'll be like a woman say she's accusing a celebrity of quote unquote taking advantage of her, right? So they'll ask her, okay, what happened? So she'll talk about the hour, right, that she's doing, and then she'll go into detail on, oh, I was wearing this and I was wearing this perfume and I just bought this perfume from this. And then she'll rattle on about details that's not even close to that. But the problem is then the mistake is then they'll go back to the accuser. Was she wearing this perfume? And they're just like, what does that have to do with? So this is the tactics that liars use. They will start going off on certain details that might be true of the situation, but really has nothing to do with the lie that they're trying to establish. This is a very common tactic that liars use.
Take care of my mom. So that was one of the months. And then Andre came back, saw that I was in really rough shape from all the stress. He started helping. And that was the summer. And then my dad got really sick from benzodiazepine dependence and a side effect called akathisia, which makes people suicidal. And so he was suicidal and he went to rehab because we thought the best way to deal with this was rehab, which wasn't right because they tried stabilizing him with more medications. And because those medications, yes. So we went to we spent a bunch of money, went to a private, the best rehab center.
Bish, why did you go over to Andrew Tate's spot while all of these things were supposedly going on at the same time while your mom was low-key kind of dying and your father was dying? Almost. Why?
And they ended up just,
I don't care about all the other stuff,
stabilizing him, putting him on more medications. The akathisia got worse. And so he was there, brought him back to Canada, and then he ended up in the hospital in December.
Shout out to Rocky here. He says she said it was a very complicated situation. She gave it away right there. Now, that is a person with experience, all right, with women, Rocky. So anybody that understands women, that as soon as women start talking about what had happened was and it's very complicated. You already know it's going to be a whole bunch of lies, excuses, lies of omission. It's very clear you're not going to get no truth you're probably gonna get probably like 10% truth. You're gonna get like 10% truth, and she's going to embellish. No, she's going to pontificate off of that 10% of the truth so she can rattle off her 90% lie. If I'm saying that correctly. Yo, man, it's crazy.
Was December 2019. And in the hospital, they sedated him with medications to counteract his akathisia so badly that when we went in there, he couldn't communicate very well. And my whole family flew down. So my aunt, my uncle, my grandparents, everybody flew down, and we all talked about it. And we had been researching all over the world to figure out where to bring him that wouldn't keep adding on medications, that would just take them away. And the only place that looked honestly kind of crazy enough to do that was Russia. And we went everywhere. Like, I didn't want to go to Russia because I don't speak Russian, and Russia's terrifying. So I didn't want to do that. But we tried Israel, but they've got the same kind of medical establishment where they just keep adding on medication.
Okay.
To stabilize, which doesn't work for akathisia because it's a side effect. Anyway, so the only way to get into Russia, and Andre was helping me at this point because my dad was in such bad shape in a hospital that the fact that we were getting divorced didn't seem as dramatic as it normally would, because we were dealing with somebody who we thought was going to be in the hospital and then die. We were like, okay, the divorce is a thing, but at this point, you know,
a bigger thing was falling apart.
Now, notice she's bringing up the divorce thing again. That it was we were about to break up anyway, so she could. The reason why she's bringing that up is so she can excuse herself on why she was already with Andrew Tate. I thought you and Andrew Tate were just there to do business. Why bring up the divorce? Your dad's dying. Why even bring that up? Because if a motherfucker want to help you, he was going to help you. So Andre was going to help you regardless. Why even bring up the divorce? She's bringing up the divorce to show that it was kind of okay for her to be somehow in Romania during the same time while your dude at the time, Andre, was taking care of your father. So it was okay for you to, you see the manipulation. It's so sick, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. So we ended up going to Russia, and we ended up getting back together. But for the next year and a half, we just did primary care for my dad. So when we went to Russia and he had his detox, it was the worst period of my entire life. And online, I was just shown
Jordan Peterson dying. Jordan Peterson going through detox. Woman, worst period of my life. Your dad's suffering, nigga. Like, your mom is suffering. Anyway,
as this person who had, you know, forced my dad onto my weird all meat diet and then dragged him to Russia and nearly killed him while gallivanting off with other people. And that was when that tweet went out, which wasn't yours.
Well, that's kind of what you did. You really should just take the L on that end, but that's just my opinion.
And online, I was just shown as this person who had, you know, forced my dad onto my weird all meat diet and then dragged him to Russia and nearly killed him while gallivanting off with other people. And that was when that tweet went out, which wasn't yours, that 20,000 people liked. And I was in Russia, and like, my hair was falling out from stress. I couldn't communicate very well with people because I don't speak Russian. But I was like, it's either this or dad's in this hospital and he's going to die. And my entire extended family agreed on that. So that's the background there.
So Andre was instrumental in getting him into Russia and into.
We wouldn't have been able to get him into Russia without Andre, because he had a Russian passport.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't just that. Like, he was with me helping take care of my dad, and I was, yeah. And so he was instrumental there. So people are online were like, why aren't you? And even my dad, why aren't you with someone who's like a good dad? He's helping your family, and I don't really want.
That is a genuine. I don't know why. You know, it's interesting, man. When with liars, they will get mad at you for questioning their lie, right? So that's a genuine question from the public. Okay, so you're saying he's doing all the stuff for you, and this is the father of your kid, and you're breaking up with him. Why? What's the real deal here? What's going on? Then they see you with that picture with Andrew Tate. They're just like, oh, Well, question answered. That is a very logical leap to conclusion. That's a very logical leap to the conclusion. Because clearly Andre doesn't seem like a bad guy. What's going on here? What's pulling you from the situation where you can't even be there, where basically you're the dude that you're with, that you were about to divorce anyway, but you went back together with, he's there for your father, but you're not there for your father. And then they see you with the picture with Andrew Tate. That's is the only logical conclusion. What else could it be? It's crazy, man.
I don't want to get into the negatives because
oh, she doing that back scratch that ninjas be doing when they lying. Here we go.
in your family, and I don't really want to get people are online are like, why aren't you? And even my dad, why aren't you with someone who's like a good dad? He's helping your family, and I don't really want to get I don't want to get into the negatives because I don't think it's appropriate, but we fought all the time in ways that I couldn't negotiate. And I don't think I'm an unreasonable person.
Oh, here we go. He was abusive and all this stuff. He was controlling. we already know where we're getting here. Oh, he was controlling. He didn't let me get a word in. No, here we go.
And so the stress in our household was really bad. And I didn't think it was good for Scarlett either. And so separately,
you didn't think it was good for Scarlett. Do you speak for Scarlett? Your kid, I'm pretty sure your kid would rather the father be around. They when it comes to kids, they don't care about the other stuff. They don't even care about bills. They don't know what bills are. They don't know what money is. They just want the father to be there. Yeah, that whole thing. I don't think it was good for Scarlett either. How do you know? Because when it comes to most kids, they just want the parents to be there. They don't even care about the money at that age. However old your kid is, can't be no more than 5 or 6 years old, 4 years old. Like during that time, they don't care about anyway.
things are working out. We're communicating. And like I said, I'm not going to villainize my kid's dad, ever.
Yeah.
But you just did. Look how she's looking down. Because you just did. You just did. You just villainized your kid's dad by saying you don't think it was good for Scarlett to be around the motherfucker anyway. So that's crazy.
Actually, publicly. So yeah. I get it, but I'm curious to know, I mean, you don't have to go into details or anything like that, but I mean, I have seen interviews of you, well, I think it was you and your mother or something like that, talking about how, building a relationship and building that marriage. Or do you think that wasn't possible with Andre?
No, it wasn't possible.
Okay. Was because
oh really?
Is he about the same? I don't know how old he is. Is he in his 20s as well?
No, he's 31.
So he's 31. Okay, so he's just a touch older than you.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Right. Well, I was curious because I mean, a lot of what I see on your channel here is really kind of, I guess relationship building, and particularly when you do interviews with your mother, you do it with your father. It seems to me like it's counterintuitive, let's just say, to what you portray on your channel. So I was just wondering, is it something that's just fundamentally a conflict that you can't resolve, or is it something that's just because you are at a certain age? Because as you were saying before, when you were 23, you were thinking different than you are now at 29. So is
no. Okay, I get what you're saying. No, I don't think it's an age thing. I think it took me a while to realize that Andre and I weren't compatible. I've wanted to have kids and have a family since.
No, Rolo Tomasi's question went right over your head. That question was to let the listeners know. You see, be careful at certain ages when you're meeting certain women, because certain women are looking for certain things at a certain age.
I was 16 and I wanted to do that young. So 23.
Yeah. Cappity cap. Cappity cap. Oh man. Somebody said in the comments, Jesus Christ, you can literally be the father figure for a nation. size crowd and still end up with this daughter. Yikes. Somebody said, and the Oscar goes to, seriously, it's nobody's business who does who. But when Jordan Peterson's daughter gets flued out by Tate, society is on the brink of collapse. Have your go bags ready. Oh, man. Somebody said, this girl belonged to the street. She capping harder than fresh. And I like that tweet. That was funny, man. Oh, man. Talking about to talk business. Please. Oh, I channeled my inner AJ right there. Oh man. Oh, I remember I liked this comment. This was hilarious. It said, next on the Rational Mail, Jada explains that she met August to discuss chess openings. Yo, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's wild, man. But like I said, Michaela, she's done a lot of damage to her father's reputation, his brand, you know. That's crazy, man. Let me see. But yeah, shout out to oh yeah, I remember this post. I remember this post when she was talking about her the father of her kid. Like her caption is literally everything that is it just describes a woman to a T. She goes, when Andre and I met, we argued about Stalin all night. I think he's been brainwashed. He disagrees and accuses me of the same. He told me he had to immigrate after the wall fell and his family had to start again in Canada. He told me he had been shot at as a kid. He has black belts. He practices sword work. He scared me. He told me he had a demon in him named Igor. It didn't seem like a joke. He wasn't like anyone I met, and I didn't know what to make of it. I got pregnant with Scarlett after 8 months of dating this strange Russian man. It was terrifying. Yeah. That's so funny. Somebody said, yeah, that sounds about right. He terrified me, but then at the same time, he got me pregnant. Can't make this stuff up. Well, I remember seeing this post. I'm like, what kind of shit did she just post right here? This makes no goddamn sense. That's fucked up. Somebody calling Michaela Peterson a man. But yeah, let me see. LOL, he don't believe her, and she knows he's on to her. Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, it, like when you look at that Rollo Tomasi interview, it was pretty clear. It's pretty clear right there when he had that mug. Let me see if I could.
And then Romania to Canada. Okay. It's like, I'm
like
busy.
Right there, he already knew he caught her up. Bitch, this bitch can't even get her dates
Romania
right.
or all the way
Germany to Romania and then Romania to Canada.
Okay.
She already is like, it's just, yeah. Like as soon as he put her on the spot already. Let me see. Shout out to Garrett, man. Shout out to the Warband member. Rocky says, LOL, a long-winded post about her baby's daddies with a romantic type pic. What lies, she cheated. I mean, you know, it's clear. it's pretty clear that she cheated. But like I said, she's not gonna admit it. I don't expect her to admit, you know, I don't expect her to admit it. You know, and also what people got to understand, most women don't leave their relationship without a landing spot. Most women do not leave their relationship without a landing spot or a potential landing spot, and sometimes they win on that end and sometimes they lose. That's why that stat came out where it's like where they showed 70% of married women have a backup guy. That's just how they are. South Holland said that's how police detectives sip they drink when they know they got you. Those are facts. Because when I saw that, I was like, damn, he got you, bruh. This bitch tried to change her dates 230 times in a span of 2 minutes. She couldn't even keep track. And I like how she was trying to set the stage up in how she ended up in Russia and then into Romania. I'm like, so then you got flued out to amidst all of this stuff, you found yourself there. Interesting. Like you it's pretty clear that she was on demon time. It's pretty clear. It's clear to me, But like I said, when I remember seeing all this stuff about her, seeing how she basically treats her daughter like a prop on Instagram and really observing her, I'm like, this girl is she is a serial liar. It's not only that she's evil, she's just a serial liar. Just a serial liar. And like I said, if any weird things that you're seeing from Jordan Peterson's Twitter is because Michaela Peterson is running that account. She's clearly running that account. Clearly, Oh, another I remember when she was on because she'll also do this because I remember she was lying when I remember Michaela was talking about Rolo's caption of her because when Rolo Tomasi made the video, the kill to party video, and she was on the roommates, right, with Hafiz Hoaz, right? Roommates interview. Let me see if I can find that. When she was on the roommates. I gotta find that video. Can I find that one? Let me see. Hold on for a second. Michaela Peterson, Hafiz. Yeah, Hafiz, man. That can we? Oh man, I don't know. Maybe I might have to look up the video through roll. Did they delete? Did they delete the interview? There's because that's a big that was like a big interview. Oh man. Because she did an interview with the roommates. I don't know if they what it should pop up because she did the interview with Hafiz. It should be right. It should be right there. Let me see. Maybe I might have to look this up. Guys. I might have to look this up. But she did the interview with Hafiz. Oh no, it's gonna be a lot of pauses. But anyways, I remember she did the interview with Hafiz where she was saying that Rolo Tomasi was comparing her to Casey Anthony and he put Casey Anthony on the thumbnail. And I'm like, we never did that. You're just lying right now. I was like, God damn, how many times this bitch gonna lie? I was like, wow. I said, wow. I was literally like, well, I'm like, how many times is this 304 going to lie? Man. Oh, no way. No way. No way. No way.
Once you've been a fighter, what other competition matters? Like, how can I possibly have interest in putting a ball in a net when I've been smashing people's skulls in?
There's no if that was really during the time when Michaela Peterson was over, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, Brett Cooper, another grifter. People don't understand. Brett Cooper is an actress. Let me see this. So let me play Nick Fuentes' video where he's talking about Michaela Peterson.
Take a wild guess as to why Michaela Peterson believes that free speech has gone too far this time. Take a wild guess. What subject matter do you think Michaela Peterson believes now falls outside the parameters of free speech and therefore should not be protected? Michaela Peterson says that anti-Semitism, yes, anti-Semitism has gone so far that now we actually require hate speech content moderation on Twitter. No refunds, by the way. If you bought one of the Jordan Peterson rugs, if you bought the book, if you bought the Bible course or a ticket to the college tour, one of the speaking tours, no refunds. $100 million, 10 years.
Maybe I might not have to replay the video because I already showed you the Candace Owens video. Let me see if he actually shows.
Beautiful, blonde, European woman. I think she actually has brown hair now, but she's a mother. She's just a nice woman. She's a beautiful blonde.
Oh, don't tell me he was simping. Don't tell me he was simped. That's a lot, man. A lot of Caucasian dudes, y'all gonna get in trouble with them types.
Free speech, free speech. Now that they actually have it, they say, well, time out. Now we support hate speech, content moderation, because anti-Semitism has gone too far. And what's amazing is that she said this in response to a post by Dr. Lupus, who's a lovely woman. I met her at AFPAC 4. She was so friendly and so nice and totally not a hater. That's the most unbelievable part. She's a doctor. She's a mother. She's just a nice woman. She's a beautiful, blonde, European woman. I think she actually has brown hair now, but I think in an earlier picture she had blonde hair. Anyway, it's not important.
Oh, she was talking about somebody else, not
she's
Michaela.
just like a normal family woman, and she put out a post, and she said that if you take a look at the porn companies...
so that he wasn't talking about Michaela. He was talking about another woman that he was simping over. But still, that's going to get... I'm about to search her up.
Dating app.
I'm about to search her up.
They're all owned by Jews. That's just a fact. I know it's uncomfortable. I know people don't like to hear it. I know it raises eyebrows, but it is a fact that MindGeek, which owns the big porn websites, OnlyFans, Grindr, the gay dating app, Bumble, Tinder, which are the other dating apps, they're all owned by Jews. That was the post. Michaela Peterson says, shut it down. Free speech has gone too far. And literally, this is not me putting words in her mouth. She says, maybe we need hate speech rules on Twitter now. She said, this must be moderated. This has gone too far. She says, and I'm not backing down. We need to crack down. I think that it's become an epidemic of anti-Semitism.
So, man, I'll say this because I remember when I was originally telling the story, it's like I thought that Nick Fuentes probably said something or whatever, and maybe that's my bias showing, but it's clear that he was just talking about something separate. And like I said, once you talk about that small hat community, you talk about that certain community, they're way too sensitive, like way too sensitive. And like I said, the Petersons are part of that community. This is why I was, that's why I was like, I've always been very skeptical of conservatives that would lift up people like, a Ben Shapiro, even though I kind of like Ben Shapiro. I find him entertaining. But when the conservatives lift up people like that in the air, a Shapiro, a Peterson, right, and these people, and it's clear where their allegiance lies if you do the research on them. That's why it would always kind of puzzle me why they would lift these guys up in the air. Let me continue to play this.
And it's obviously so hypocritical. And Tristan Tate weighed in on this as well. He said on Twitter, I think yesterday morning, he said he's so glad that I'm back on Twitter because I'm the litmus test. So many free speech warriors, they're arguing for free speech, not for me. And I said in response, this free speech thing is really just a big grift for so many. People that never got censored are all calling for free speech. They never advocated for the people that actually were censored. And now that we have free speech, they're calling for censorship.
This is actually this is something that bothers me too. The people that I don't think people really want free speech. That I agree. I don't think people really want free speech. Most people, because people will not advocate for their enemies to come back and be platformed. So, like I said, there's a lot of people that I will disagree with, but if they get, like, for example, let me take Steve Crowder, for example, who I don't fuck with at all, but I know what he's going through, and what Steve Crowder is going through is wrong. It's just simply wrong. So maybe it's the softy in me. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to see nobody go through that shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to see nobody go through that shit, that the lying and all that nonsense, right? So I give him a pass. It's not necessarily just advocating for your enemies, but it's clear to me that the people that will quote unquote advocate for free speech, or the people that you think are champions of free speech, which they think the Petersons are, and Jordan Peterson probably is, but it's not what you think. Yes, it's easy to say, oh, the Transformer pandemic. We got a Transformer pandemic. The Transformers are crazy. Yeah, of course they're crazy. They don't even know what gender they are. Of course they're crazy. But it's not that easy when you'll have somebody saying something about the small hat community, or you got somebody saying something about black people, or you have something say, it's harder to then, oh, let me advocate for those guys. That's not going to happen.
And if that doesn't demonstrate how bankrupt the conservative movement is, if that doesn't show what a bunch of liars and frauds they are, I don't know what does. And it's so unbelievable. So I critiqued Michaela Peterson. I said, what a fraud you are. You guys make $100 million. That's more money than almost anybody in the world will ever see in 10 lifetimes on this free speech grift. Now you call for censorship. I said, I guess that shows who you really work for. It's not about free speech. You make money. And the people that pay you are either Jewish or they're pro-Israel, whatever it is. That's why you're now calling for the moderation. And she comes at me with these weird replies. She said, well, you're just jealous. You wish you were born Jewish. You notice the rank hypocrisy, the obvious contradiction, and this is all they can ever say. Well, you're just jealous. Jews are smarter than you. And who do you think is more reasonable on this topic? The person that says free speech should be absolute, or the people that say free speech until one group is criticized? Who do you go with? Who's the crazy one? The person that says America first and it applies to every country, or the people that say America first except for Israel? Who's crazy? The guy that says,
yeah, Nick Fuentes is now going to say some things that's going to get my channel taken down. He's gonna say some things that's gonna get my channel taken down. Oh yeah, Rocky says, didn't Hafiz get ran off YouTube by CGA? Yeah, guys, let me bring up that video real quick. I need you guys to see that video, CGA versus Hafiz. If you guys don't get you guys need to watch that. I never seen a whooping. I'll say this, man. He cooked Hafiz in that video, dog. He cooked Hafiz in this video. I need you guys to please watch this video, man. And what's interesting, Hafiz had more smoke for CGA than the so-called trad wife with the OnlyFans. It's like the woman on there that had the OnlyFans and a whole family. She got like zero critique from the people on the panel. This woman here, who had her, I guess, her husband and his son in the crowd, I guess. She has an OnlyFans account. She created an OnlyFans, and they were still treating her like there was nothing wrong with what she's doing. Meanwhile, they had all this smoke for CGA. But I'll say this: Hafiz looked like a straight sucker in this video, in this interview. And anybody that gets the chance to watch just a straight whooping, watch this debate between CGA and Hafiz. And shout out to CGA when he was saying there is no God in marriage. Very bold, to say, but those are facts. Let's get back to Nick Fuentes.
I think that Jewish people are working together using these massive federations and groups like the ADL, AIPAC, the ZOA, World Jewish Congress, or the people that say the reason that Jews get ahead is because, well, they're just infinitely smarter than every other race on earth.
So right here, those last parts that Nick Fuentes is saying, I can't disagree with that. I cannot disagree with that, man. You know, I can't disagree with that. Especially when we talk about the ADL. That's just an organization that's bad news. That organization is bad news right there. But yeah, shout out to Nick Fuentes defending himself, because exactly what he said, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Oh man. What the hell? They're saying it's over. What's going on here?
Hello, Twitter friends. I've identified some rumors which seem to be circulating regarding me and a Zionist agent's offspring on X.com, and I thought perhaps it was time to make a statement. Now, as you know, Israel tried to buy me, but I refused to stand on stage and perform a public fellatio of a genocidal ethno-state, which is committing some of the most heinous acts ever witnessed on video. So therefore, I had to turn down the money. And my particular views, my personal feelings and opinions on Israel are quite well known, as they've been documented on Piers Morgan and many other high-profile talk shows. That being said, I don't think that you crazy conspiracy theorists should come to the conclusion that millionaires just fly out random women for fun, sordid affairs, all because she happens to be the offspring of a famous Zionist. I mean, happens to be the offspring of a famous Zionist.
Oh, let me rewind that. I was reading a text from somebody. I'm sorry, guys.
Documented on Piers Morgan and many other high-profile talk shows. That being said, I don't think that you crazy conspiracy theorists should come to the conclusion that millionaires just fly out random women for fun, sordid affairs, all because she happens to be the offspring of a famous Zionist. I mean, are you crazy people really going to pretend that millionaires just fly any blonde chick they can find out to their house for a week for illicit activities? Guys, that's not how the world works. Millionaires don't just fly women to them for sex. For fuck's sake. So I want to put all the rumors to bed.
Yo, he basically just confirmed it. Yes, Tate, we know
I'm fucking hilarious. I'm fucking funny. How do people hate me? I'm so fucking funny.
Yes, man. We know, Michaela. We know you smashed. You didn't have to confirm it. We know you. We know you smashed. We know you smashed, bro. Anyways. Oh man. That's power dynamics similar to after the people involved with Gandhi's movement got into power in India, they outlawed the very same loopholes that allowed them to seize power. Like I was trying to tell people, the very thing you need to be careful, because what does Shannon Sharp say? You must be careful, because the very thing that you despise the most, you can become it. And that it's very rampant throughout history. Yeah. Pyro said what he's regarding the CGA topic with Hafiz. He was just, CGA has just too much experience compared to Hafiz talking about he knows what's going on after like 1 year of marriage, or after literally just getting married, you know. But Hafiz, he's always was a grifter, very blue pill, you know. That's one guy that I could never really get behind. Pause. Gary Grant said he may be a little crazy, but he's not wrong. He's regarding Nick Fuentes. But yeah, he said, why is he trolling? So Andrew, like Andrew Tate, he basically just confirmed it. Like, yeah, I smashed. I don't know why he's saying this now. I think I saw some tweets on Jordan Peterson's page regarding, let me see. I just searched him up. Let me see. Jordan Peterson. If you check Jordan Peterson's Twitter, it was a lot of at Cobra Tate. It was a lot of at Cobra Tate. It was either his Twitter or Michaela's. So and Andrew Tate said, the small hat nation tried to buy me. I said no. And then Peterson replies, you just get worse and worse. But like I said, really, that's not Jordan Peterson behind that Twitter. That's Michaela. So I guess that's what triggered Andrew Tate to make that video. Oh man. But like I said, a lot of the stuff that's going on with Jordan Peterson is his daughter. His daughter is ruining his legacy right now. It's really sad to see. It's really sad to see because she's because she's taking over all of his affairs, even financially. Oh yeah, by the way, I will say this. I know people gonna be mad at me. People gonna be mad at me. So this is off. So I'm off the Michaela Peterson subject now. But people gonna get mad at me when I say this, man. I am pro Transformers in women's sports. I am pro Transformers in women's sports. It's just nature correcting itself. That's how I look at it. You guys want equal pay, you guys want equal money. You are okay. If it's really equal, you should be able to compete against men. Oh man, shout out to Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle said it best. He said, or you could shut the fuck up. Now, people got mad at that, but hey man, I am so pro woman, men going into women's sports. Shit, I'm pro woman going into men's sports. If you think you can compete with with men, hey, shout out to you. If you can do it, men will actually give you your props and won't actually kick you out. They won't do that. Now the men are coming into women's sports, you know what I mean, and they can't compete with they can't compete, and now they're like, get them out of there. And men were like, guys, we told you that's what they were trying to do, but you didn't listen. Now you're stuck. Don't call for us to help. Let me see. He said every House Democrat apparently. So let me see. So Riley Gaines reported that every House Democrat just voted to keep men in women's sports, put men in women's bathroom and locker rooms, house men in women's dorms, control your speech, and demand the language by which you call these men. Every single Democrat, even those with daughters of their own, evil. Yeah. But like I said, it's already too late, and Riley Gaines is already too late to the party. And like I said, I don't want to hear shit from the conservative women. I don't want to hear shit from the women about complaining about men in women's sports, because they never complain when you had men out there tricking other men into sleeping with them and not telling them that they used to be men. When you had the Transformers doing that to men, nobody cared. People made fun of those dudes. You had those dudes, you know what I mean, with the, we were trying to tell you, well, we don't really need that alphabet community around our kids and all of this stuff. The women didn't care. The women didn't care about none of the alphabet community's advances up until they start seeing these people in women's sports. Up until they start seeing these men in these bathrooms. I mean, bruh. I mean, what do you think? What did you think was gonna happen? It's too late now. Don't call. Nah, man. Somebody said, if you want to protect women, girls in this country, do not vote Democrat. But like I said, I really don't care anymore. I really don't care. I'm not, because at the end of the day, I don't care about women's sports like that. I really don't. Even though I'll watch female soccer from time to time, but sometimes like some of the females that play, they can, like, especially the goalies are so bad. It's ridiculous, you know. Like some of the goalies that I see in female soccer, like I'm talking about at the lower levels, like in college, in high school. I'm talking about even in D1. They're so bad, like so bad. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's embarrassing. But you know, like I said, I don't really care about women's sports like that. And it's just interesting. You ask for equal pay. You ask for all these stuff. We need to be paid more. We need to be paid like men, but you can't compete with men. This is why we got you in women's sports. Just accept that, and we'll do what we can for you in the meantime. But no, they're always asking for more, always asking for more. Like, you know, what I was talking about, 50 Cent. 50 Cent was paying his baby mother $500,000 a year. She still was asking for more. That's why he took himself to child support and had that shit modified to $6,000 a month. They're always asking for more. Oh man. Oh, let me see if I'm missing anything. Yo, I'm pro. Yeah, shout out to Gary Grant. He said Joanna men in all women's sports. Man, I want them to go all the way, because I want to even stick it up to the liberals too, because the liberals be having me dying with this stuff. And I'll be like, of course. I'm like, I think these transformers, they should be in the in the women's prisons too, because they're women too. And they'd be like, wait, but I'm like, nah, let's look, if you're gonna do it all the way, let's go all the way. I don't like that whole we're just gonna pick and choose where we get to. No. If you're gonna bring that shit up, we're gonna go all the way. Allow the transformers into the women's prison. And they've already done that, and that's already been a disaster. But like I said, we might as well go all the way with this stuff, because this whole stuff where we're picking and choosing and doing all this stuff, I am not for that. Also, in the future, before I sign off, I do want to I don't know if I should do it now, but there is a person. I don't know where he is right now, because I don't, follow everybody. Let me see. FBJ. Florida Boy J. There's this guy, Florida Boy J. And he did an interview with this cat. So okay. You guys got to remind me, or somebody's gonna have to remind me.
No, I agree. I agree.
We need to do a full discussion on this particular interview, and I want to make this interview for particularly Black people that are Democrats. I want to make this video and just show them, like, it's because the video is called "All Black Republicans Matter," and it's time for the Black conservatives to come out the closet. Figuratively, meaning you need to be honest and be like, look, I'm a conservative. I'm not going to hide this fact anymore. I am a Black Republican. I'm not going to hide this anymore just to see if I can get some pussy. Fuck that. I am a Republican. I am a Black man, or I am a Black woman, and I am Republican. Y'all, this is what I believe in. This is what needs to happen now. There needs to be a different perspective than I'm like, haven't you guys had enough of Sleepy Joe, Kamala Harris, who's not even Black, but she cosplays as a Black woman? I'm like, haven't you guys had enough? So we're going to do let me see, all Black Republicans Matter stream very, very soon, and we're going to cover this whole interview between Florida Boy Jay and MAGA supporter Aaron from the Star Report show. And I'm not I don't want to show this interview to say you need to agree with everything he says, because I don't agree with everything he says, but there needs to be more of a different perspective that is shared. That's what I believe. There needs to be a different perspective in terms of what's being shared out there in the public. This is what this is what I believe, that there needs to be another option than just, oh, you gotta only vote Democrat because Republicans are racist and conservative. No. There needs to be another side to this. There needs to be another side to this. There needs to be a different perspective. Let me see. Garrett says, funny idea, Transformer, a WNBA player, and CC in the same team. That's going to be interesting. So, because, what's interesting, Caitlin Clark has a lot of conservative support, right? Particularly from white middle America and the conservatives. So if you had a Transformer on the same team as her and they were like winning games, would they still be a fan of that team? Would the liberals be forced to like support a Caitlin Clark? Would the black liberals, would they be forced to still support a Caitlin Clark while they have a member of their community, the alphabet community on the team as well? Who would root for who? That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna do a stream on that soon. I do need to I gotta do, maybe I should do this around election time, but I should put this out now very soon, where it says all Black Republicans matter, and we're just gonna react to this interview, and I'll probably have a panel for this. Yeah, I definitely got to do something like that soon, and I just want to ask people, what do you think of Aaron? What do you think? Because I've seen Aaron on the Star Report, and he would call in and he would say certain things where even the so-called cool women on the show that would call in, they were bothered with Aaron. I was like, uh-oh, that means he must be saying some real shit. So I'm gonna give because he would say certain things that was I'm talking about, it was true, but it's like you can't really say this stuff out loud. And like I said, this is a Black Republican, a very outspoken, conservative Black man, but he's like almost like he's like Nick Fuentes level right wing, on that end. That's what people don't like. He's like he's damn near close to Nick Fuentes level of thinking. So I do want to put him out there. But the reason why I gravitate to a Aaron, because Star Report gravitated to him. And the reason why I believe Star Report, DJ Star gravitated towards this cat is because he probably reminds him of a young star, young star terrain. Probably I think that's the reason why he gravitated towards this character. I haven't heard him all much on the Star Report lately. Maybe I missed something. I don't know if something happened, if they fell out or this guy's busy or whatever. But I remember listening to him when he would call on to the Star Report, and that shit would be hilarious. That joint would be hilarious. He'd be calling on, saying the most racist stuff I ever heard in my life. Some of the most racist stuff I heard in my life. But it was like Uncle Ruck is funny. But yeah, anyway, I'll do that one soon. But yeah, bottom line, let me sum this up real quick. Before I sign off. Bottom line is this, man. Michaela Peterson is tarnishing Jordan Peterson's legacy. And Jordan Peterson actually has a lot of smart things to say. He in terms about society, when it comes to freedom of speech, I don't agree with everything when it comes to when he's talking about masculinity, but he has a lot of things that he is very well educated on. You know, him being a evolutionary psychologist, psychiatrist, I don't know, psychologist, whatever. Being an evolutionary, was an evolutionary psychologist, whatever. He does have some interesting things to say when it comes to the observations of human nature. Let me see if I can I gotta let me see if I can find that video. Jordan Peterson. Before I log off, I want to show you like a snippet on socializing child. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see.
So, well, here's a way of thinking about the Piagetian system. So 2-year-olds, they're very chaotic, and they bounce between one highly motivated emotional state to another. And so the first thing that the 2-year-old has to do is get his or her act together, more or less inside. And so, 2-year-olds still have tantrums, and they still cry a lot, and they still run around like mad being joyful crazily, which you have to train out of them right away, because it's nothing but disruptive. And it's one of the most painful things about being a parent. It's like 90% of the time you're going, stop having fun, and then you turn into a teenager and your parents get what they ask for. And so, but because positive emotion is so impulsive and so chaotic, it's really hard to manifest itself.
So I've seen some of these things when he's talking about the socialization of young kids when they are in daycare or certain things. Now, what's interesting is he has said a lot of interesting things where basically if your child is not socially adapt by like a certain age of 3 or 4 years old, 2 years old, this is where this could basically affect the rest of their lives. And I actually believe in that. I believe there are, unfortunately, when you have like people people can never make that connection, right? Like even Colin Cowherd, I remember him talking about there's a reason why whoever's the best looking dude in the class ends up being the quarterback. You know what I mean? So this is why quarterbacks are always looking a certain way, or it's a lot of these things are cultivated at childhood. So it's really only a few kids, especially now since women are running these daycare centers. A lot of sketchy people running these daycare centers. You have now daycare centers being the primary resource for parents to be used to raise young babies, right? Babies. And they are like kids are not being raised by their parents now. And now it's the TV and daycare centers during those first 5 to 6 years. Now, people don't ever put these two and two together. Like, damn, why is all these kids now they can't socialize? And it's only like a few. Is because you got this is what I believe. I believe because it's primarily you got these sketchy people running these daycare centers, and they're just basically picking who they like, right? Or even in elementary school, kindergarten, right? You need to basically hope now as a as a parent, you need to hope. Your only hope for your kid to be a social person, you need to hope that the teacher likes them. If the teacher does not like them, your kid the kid's success in just being successful in life is going to be massively hindered. Right? So us boys, we've been in classes, right? And we'll be in class and something will happen. Like the boys will be talking, we'll be doing our thing, and then they'll be like, "Why don't you act more like the girls?" The girls are they're doing what they're supposed to do. What's wrong with you? Like we've heard this stuff from teachers. Like the teachers could be very sexist. We've heard this. This stuff affects these young boys at a young age, and it ends up. So that is a bigger discussion. That it's interesting. People don't want to talk about that, and the reason why we don't really want to get into that situation when we're talking about how to properly socialize young children, then it's like, okay, so who's in charge of that? Who's the primary people that are? So people don't want to get into that. So yeah, one day we will get into that. One day we will. Oh, I don't. Yeah, but one day we will get into that. One day we will get into one day we will get into that discussion with Jordan Peterson. He said Uncle Ruck is funny. Yeah, you're gonna see. You're gonna see, man. You're gonna see. Aaron is an interesting character. But anyways, guys, but thank you guys for tuning in. I think that's all I have to say. I don't have any more videos. I will drop more videos. I am back again because, like I said, I had to travel again outside of my domain for money, right? Right? Playing music, you're just not staying in one place. Even like now, right now, I'm organizing, specifically producing for somebody to do a concert at an arena soon. So a lot of this stuff is taking up a lot of my time because I'm not necessarily, obviously I'm not doing all because now like these musical directors, the MDs, now they got like whole productions going on with the click tracks and the Logic Pro and all. I don't have that kind of stuff going on yet. I'm unfortunately the higher that I'm starting to get into this music scene, the more I'm probably gonna have to start doing that. So I'm gonna have to buy a new laptop and all this stuff. And get all that stuff set up where I'm actually composing the backtracks and all this stuff. So right now I'm organizing something like that for an artist that I know. So I got to do that. I got to get on top of that. Then I'm working with an artist in New York. So it's hard. Really trying to organize things because it's not just me showing up and playing anymore like I used to. Now I got to organize shit. Now I got to call musicians that I know. Now I got to hire them and all this stuff. So these are the things that I got to do right now. So I'm going to be all over the place, but I'm still going out of my way. I'm still posting every day. I'm still doing what I have to do because I do owe it to this community, because without this community, I would not be where I am. So bear with me for a little bit. I'm still going to be posting every day. These next couple weeks will be sketchy because I am doing that. I'm doing all that shit now because I thought because I didn't work at a church, I wouldn't have to do that. But it looks like I'm still going to have to do that stuff. So I am organizing for somebody for a concert. I had to pick the musicians and all that stuff. So bear with me on that end. I will be very busy. Last week, I went on an island performing with a band, filling in for somebody. That's basically why, the videos haven't been coming in every day like that, but I still should be posting every day. So I'm going to try to make sure not to find an excuse and just to keep pushing. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I still got some videos to post tomorrow. It's going to be, it should be still posted tomorrow. So yeah, I got some things to show you guys. Thank you guys, man, for tuning in. Everybody, War Band members, people part of AJ's clan, thank you guys. South Holland, thank you for commenting. Thank you guys, for tuning in, giving a brother a chance. But I will sign off on this. I went way over time this time. Take care, guys.